Whew. Let's see if I got all this work to make sure that all this works properly. Hope everyone can get on okay. I hope all of you can hear me. This thing working? This thing working now? Make sure that my microphone works. If it doesn't, we've got a problem. Give you all a few minutes to get on. And while we do, I'll go ahead and say a few things. Yeah, now you can all see me. The ugly mug. This is what the Raven looks like. The mystery's over. It's out there. Boy. So 5,000 subscribers. I don't even know what to say. Last I checked, it was 5,084 or something like that. There's a milestone right there. That is very impressive. It's just so cool. But I couldn't have done it without my community, without my fans, without all the people there for me. Let me get this going real quick. Got to get my live chat set up. If anyone's live chatting me right now, I'm not seeing it yet. So, as y'all probably know, I'm still very new to this whole YouTube thing, or at least all these fancy things. So, if anyone is chatting at me right now or live chatting at me, know that I'm not seeing anything as of yet. Trying to get that fixed. Okay. Let's go to re-enable live chat. Save. There we go. Now it's working. I don't know why it didn't work before. All right. There everyone is. Now I can see it. Now I can see it. Okay, I don't know what was up with it before. For some reason, I couldn't see the live chat. People getting on now. This is fantastic. This is fantastic. But now you can all see me. You all know what I look like. So, All Might in person. I wish it was as cool as All Might. I really do. I really do. Anyway, so here's what this is all about. So 5,000 subscribers. This is so freaking cool. I'm stoked. I'm stoked about how far this channel has come. And I'll go ahead and say this. I never thought I'd get this far. I never thought that I would make it from, I didn't even know if I'd make it to 1,000, but after I did, I set my new goal to 10,000 because I always set goals for myself that are higher than I actually think I could achieve. So now I'm halfway there, over halfway there, and I'm like, what? How did I make it this far? How did I do that? Oh my gosh. It really brings a tear to my eye. It's so awesome. I hope I get to 1,000, 10,000. I hope that I get to 10,000. That'd be so great. But anyway, here's what we're doing here. So this is just a question and answer live stream. I'm not playing any games. I'm not going into anything specifically. This is your chance. Since I didn't do my face reveal at 2,000 like I promised, I'm doing it now. Y'all are going to get to ask me any questions you want. I'll also point out that I think I figured out how to do super chat, which is where you can donate if you want to. And it like highlights and pins in the chat or whatever, because I'm looking at the chat right here. My monitor is higher up than my camera. My camera is below the monitor. My screen is right here. So if I ever look up like I'm doing right now, it's because I'm looking at the screen, not the camera. And I'll try to get a feel of that in time. But anyway, so where is my brother? He's in the other room. He's doing his own thing right now. This isn't about him. This is, maybe we'll do a brother reveal later. But anyway, yeah, so what we're doing today is this is your opportunity to ask me questions. I'll try to answer them. And like I said, we'll go until about 9 or 9:15. And that'll be the 5,000 sub celebration. So let's get started. First question is from Diego Prieto. I hope I said that right. Do you have a main and For Honor, and who is it? a lot of people have asked me this. I do not have a main. I kind of play everyone. But if you were going like based on who my highest rep is, it's a tie between Warden, Black Prior, and Nobushi. Those are the three that I think have the highest reps right now. All of them rep 23. So I think that I would call one of those three my main. Probably Black Prior. I really enjoy playing him. I didn't know you were religious. I'm a Baptist Christian. So yes, I am very faith oriented. My Christ is very important to me. Can we see your brother? No, not right now. He's gonna stick to his room right now. He's not good for visibility right now. Anyway, Herbus Daubney asks Burgundian armor or Maximilian armor. That's a tough one. I like Maximilian just for the style points alone. If you're sending questions kind of fast, so don't be surprised if I miss you. Just put it again if I don't answer you. Do you do other games like Dark Souls? No, I don't do Dark Souls. My brother does Dark Souls, but I do a lot of other games. I do Neo 2. I do Tomb Raider series. I do The Witcher. I've actually been playing through The Witcher right now. I used to do Rainbow Six Siege. I lost a lot of my respect for that. And I also do Star Wars Battlefront 2. I do The Division, stuff like that. I do other games. What is the deal with airline food? What is the deal with airline? Are you happy on the inside, not on the outside? What were your first thoughts when you played For Honor? Okay, that's a great question, Jaguar Warrior. What were my thoughts? What were my first thoughts when I played For Honor? Okay, so when the For Honor trailer dropped, I thought to myself, this is the game I've been waiting for. This is the game that, bam, this is what I want to do. This is what I really need because I love history. I love the samurai. I love the knights. I love the Vikings. This is my kind of game. So it dropped and I played for the first time and I was sold. I couldn't put it down. Anytime I got home from school or I got a free time, I was on it. You know, I loved it. It was one of the best games I'd ever played. And yeah, it had problems. Objectively, it had a lot of problems, but I was able to overlook those problems because it had everything I wanted in a game. So that's definitely a thing. Do I do World of Warcraft? No. Favorite historical battle and why? Oh, you need to give me a few days to think on that because there are so many good ones. Shoot, that is an excellent question. The Battle of Kenny would be my first choice. The Battle of Kenny, that would be probably my first choice. Why are you buying? You're referencing Purple Eyes WTF. What happened to grading the For Honor executions? Grading the For Honor execution. I do that in my For Honor analysis videos where I talk about unique executions. So I don't know what you're talking about there. What is your favorite kind of weapon in history? Swords. I love swords, but I also like glaives a lot. It depends on the kind, though, obviously. I like the lamp in the background. I have it, too. What are your thoughts on the lamp? I got this lamp literally when I moved into my first apartment, and I've just had it ever since. So it's not that. It's a nice lamp. What's your favorite mythological monster from mythology? Centaurs, probably. Can you explain the Battle of Kenny? Well, first of all, it was during the second Peloponnesian War. You had I said that wrong. I'm sorry. It was a second war between the Carthaginians and the Romans. And it was considered one of the greatest battle tactics in history, where you have the Carthaginians, who seemed to have had a smaller army than the Romans. The Romans were coming at them with this massive force, and you had Hannibal of Barca. He was this military genius, and he allowed the Roman line to come straight down the center, and he had his own men kind of cave into the fold. But then as he does, he's wrapped his soldiers around the enemy and encircles them. It's the first time in history that a smaller army was able to defeat a larger force. He basically encircled them and defeated them by trapping them all within each other. It's considered one of the greatest battles in history. Hey, John Smith, thank you. I don't think I'm that handsome, but I appreciate it. Hannah, what is your thought on Luffy's question to Brooke? You know the one. What? Oh, I'm not answering that. You know my thoughts on that question. Do you know about World War II? If so, do you think Omaha Beach was a suicide mission? My specialty is medieval battle and medieval combat. I know a lot about World War II in terms of the politics and the situations and the sides. I don't know exactly the details of Omaha Beach, so I need to read up on it. What do you think of Jujutsu Kaisen? Haven't watched it. Haven't watched it, but everyone else says that I need to. Who's your favorite MCU character? I don't have one. I don't like the Marvel Cinematic Universe that much. I'm a DC kid. Sue me. You have the same energy as my favorite history teacher. I hope so. If you punch your wall, would a hole form? If I did, maybe. The first time a larger force was beaten by a smaller one, so the Battle of Marathon and Thermopylae don't count. The Spartans lost at Thermopylae. What? What is my least favorite anime? Ooh. What was it called? I blanked it from my memory. What was it called? Favorite mainstream anime would my least favorite mainstream anime would probably be Bleach, but that's for story purposes, not because the animation's bad. Since you're Christian, have you heard of Jesse Lee Peterson? If you have, what's your opinion on him? I haven't heard of this person. Favorite Sabaton song? The Last Stand. Not even a question. The Last Stand. Followed closely by 82nd All the Way. Have you raged on For Honor? Totally. Oh, God. For Honor can make me go crazy. For Honor is one of those games where it's like, why do I keep playing you? It's terrible. I'm always losing. I'm always getting ganked. It's so unfair. But then 30 minutes later, next round. I can't stay mad. It's my favorite game. Oh, okay. Then who's your favorite DC hero? Batman. Because he's Batman. I love me some Batman. I also really like Wonder Woman. She's awesome. Green Arrow was my favorite for a while because I did archery for a while. So he was also a favorite. Oh God, DC all the way. As a fellow history buff, I gotta ask: do you think if Iran honestly happened, which faction do you think would win Sir Raven? I did a whole video series talking about who I think would win in an actual engagement, and I think if we're dealing with them at their absolute best historically, where we take the knights with their best gear and weapons, the samurai with their best gear of weapons, and the Vikings with their best gear and weapons, I'm going to give it to the samurai only because they come with guns. And in the 19th century, samurai gained access to firearms that were used at that time, which you would see like in the American Civil War. So I think that if we're dealing with those kind of guns, percussion-capped rifles, then I think we would see the samurai carry the day because the percussion-capped rifles wouldn't have a problem puncturing plate mail armor. Did the knights at that time have access to guns? Yeah, but they wouldn't be much stronger than the samurai would have had access to during the Edo period. So it's not that big of a deal. And Vikings never had guns. They never came to get them. So I think we would see the samurai carry the day. If they don't have guns, then the knights would probably win because I think they have the better armor to protect them. That's my thought. Ever played the Halo games? Yes. I played Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo Reach, Halo ODST. That's it. You look like someone combined Jack Black with Dark's Defil. I hope that's a compliment. What do you think should they do for a Shinobi buff? That's the problem. I don't know what they should do for Shinobi. Shinobi needs help. He needs help so bad, but I have no idea how to help him. Good points on Thermopylae. I'm sorry for this, but still, there's Marathon, so how about that? I think when I say that the Battle of Kenny was the first time that happened, it was in a single engagement between two singular armies. Marathon, I wouldn't say was a singular engagement. I would need to ask my brother on that one. I'll get back to you on that. Let me think on that one. Needs more work. I'll get back to you on that one because I think you're in the Discord. I'll talk to you there. The Battle of Islana is one of my favorite battles in history, technically, for your force overwhelmed and destroyed an invading empire. I'll look into that one. For Honor with guns. It'd be terrible. Yeah, but Warmonger has funny magic fart rock, so knights win by default. Corruption's so broken. Who's your favorite For Honor character and why? Lore-wise or playing-wise? Because I don't know. I think my favorite For Honor character to play is Black Prior because he's so entertaining. But I really, really like the design of some of the other characters. Like Warmonger's design is great. T-On-D's design is great. That's like asking me to name my favorite child. I can't do it. What do you think about the Romans taking on Hannibal at Kenny? That's exactly what I was talking about. Kenny, right there. The Universal Union. You said that's the exact battle I was talking about. Ever watch Fist of the North Star? It's my favorite anime. I have watched it. It's good. Rainbow Six is just For Honor with guns. No, Rainbow Six is heresy. Okay? Rainbow Six used to be this really great game. Now it's just gone by the wayside. I feel so bad for it now. I wanted to respect it. I kept trying to make excuses for why I kept coming back to it. I can't do it anymore. I uninstalled that. I know you like Warhammer lore. Do you see yourself possibly making a video talking about Warhammer from a writing perspective? Oh, man. Talking about Warhammer from a writing perspective, there are so many different writers for that. I could talk about it from a world building perspective and maybe from a magic system perspective. But from a writing perspective, I need more specifics. What is it that you see in Apollyon as a villain that almost no one else does? I look at Apollyon in terms of what villains... here's the thing. When I look at a villain, I don't always look at the actions. The actions are important, but what I also look at in terms of villainy is reason. Here's the thing. People are always going to tell you, this is such an old-fashioned, outdated line. You've probably heard it a million times, but morality can be so subjective. Morality can have different variations. It isn't just black and white. There are lots of gray areas. And every person who did something evil in history always thought they were doing it for the right reason. No one ever went out and said, I'm doing this because I'm evil. You know, no one ever does that. Even Hitler, despite how bad he was, he thought that he was doing something good. And so I like to analyze why villains do what they do. And I wanted to analyze why Apollyon would want to kickstart a war. Why would she want to start a war when peace is on the horizon? And when she explained her philosophy, her reasoning, that she just wanted war, I was thinking, why would you want war? So I studied up her background, her history. I really analyzed her dialogue, her actions in the story. And I thought to myself, there is a fascinating ideology there. There's a very fascinating woman behind that armor. And I thought to myself, there's also a scary amount of truth to it. And so I really wanted to bring that to the forefront. And I hope I did. I hope that I brought that out. Apparently, a lot of people liked it. So that's what I see when I look at Apollyon. I think when a lot of other people look at Apollyon, they just see, oh, it's just a bad story mode for a game that's dying. And that's not what I see. I see a very interesting and engaging character. And I think some people just don't want to see the engaging character. And that's their fault. That's their loss. In your opinion, if you had to choose, should Ubi make a single player DLC for Honor or a sequel? I would rather see a continuation of the campaign. I'd like a sequel, but I don't think a sequel would fix all the problems, you know? And in all honesty, I think For Honor has unique problems that you can't really get rid of without ruining the game. So probably another campaign. Senior Zuzu, any upcoming game you're looking forward to? No. I heard about this one, but it isn't supposed to come out for a couple of years. This kind of like Harry Potter open world RPG thing. And that's the only way I would play a Harry Potter game. If it was an open world RPG, that's the only way you'd get me to do it. Greetings, Blood Knight. Greeting, Kage Narumono. What if a guy in medieval armor came to give you mail? Thank you. Favorite song to listen to while being 1v4'd by Orochi mains? This is it. Make no mistake. This is it. I agree with Amin. Although Siege is a game that shouldn't be one that I like, I love it still. If you like Siege, like it. I'm going to say this all the time. If you like something, don't let my opinion tell you not to, okay? If you like Rainbow Six Siege, like Rainbow Six Siege. If you like Naruto, like Naruto. Just because I don't like these things doesn't mean you have to dislike them. Be your own individual person. Who does your brother main in For Honor? Warden and Black Prior and Lawbringer. Pick a knight besides Peacekeeper and Gladiator, and he probably mains them. Have I heard about Hood, Outlaw, and Legends? Yeah. I don't know how to feel about that. The way Robin Hood and that lore has been treated lately, I don't know if I'm excited for that or not. Halo Reach stream when? Probably never. I don't really plan to do a stream of Halo Reach on YouTube. I might do that for Discord, but not for YouTube. What about Chivalry 2 that's coming out? I didn't play the first Chivalry, so hard for me to be excited about something that I never even played the first game for. That's like me going, oh my gosh, they're coming out with Battlefront 2 when I didn't even play Battlefront 1. What weapon would you want for Wu Lin besides a Geon sword? I just want this. I just want this sword. Is it so much to ask for this freaking sword for the Wu Lin? I want this. Is it so hard, Ubisoft? Ubisoft, if you're watching this right now, this. It's like the most iconic Chinese weapon there is. People call it the Mulan sword. Just give it to them. I'm sorry. Why? What is your favorite weapon in For Honor? The poleaxe. I really like that poleaxe. Would you play a video game based on Arthurian lore if it fully embraced how absurd Arthurian lore could get at times? If you make a video game on Arthurian lore that fits my niche, I'll try it, you know? Wait, is that an actual... Yeah, it's an actual Geon. I have some of my weapon collection here. I have a small sword collection. Yeah, I do. I have a small sword collection. I don't have all of them with me. Some of them are still at my old place because I couldn't bring all of them this trip. But I do have them. Sorry, tea break. Raven Knight win what? Orochi mains just spam line attacks and dodge. I'm looking for questions. Do you think the two new heroes will be 2 Vikings, 2 Samurai, 2 Wulins, or 1 Viking and 1 Samurai? I have no idea. I'm gonna bet Vikings. I'm gonna bet it's gonna be 2 Vikings, but I'd like it to be 2 new Wulin. Was that a horn cup? Yes, it was. Yes, I just drank out of a horn. I'm crazy. What's your favorite sword from the collection? This one. My Nodachi. This is my favorite sword from the collection. Because it's a katana built for people as big as me. So, yeah. This is my favorite. Love this sword. Spring steel. Long enough for me to use naturally. Perfect. Anyway. Yeah. Just going to keep this out for a minute longer because I love it so much. Let's see. Makes you feel like Sasaki Koshiro. Don't try to break into this man's house. Oh, no. No one would want to. Trust me. Are those actual swords or props? No, these are real. These are real. I make it a rule not to buy fakes. These are real swords. Who do you think is a better villain? I did a whole video on that. It's like my most popular video. Howdy doody, Raven. Vinci Wincy Spider. Hey. Will I be showing my face in my future videos? Maybe. Maybe. On some of them. Why does his voice not match his face? I can't answer that. I don't know why that is. I hope it's not a problem. What would be your thoughts on a new Viking hero? About bloody time. Raven looking dangerous. Yeah. If you buy a katana, is that considering a weeb? No. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and say this. And let consequences be damned. People ask me lately, what's the difference between a otaku and a weeb? How do you know the difference? I'll tell you the difference. An otaku is someone who really, really likes Japanese manga or anime, and they think it's very fun, and they like to quote it, and they may even throw in a few phrases of Japanese from time to time, but usually within the context of what they're reading. A weeb, or weeaboo, is someone who thinks that Japan is the Holy Land. They've never done anything wrong. The samurai are gods on earth, and every other Western power is just trying to copy off of them. They believe that Tokyo is the greatest place you could ever be. They throw Japanese phrases that don't make sense into regular conversation. They want to meet every single Asian person out there to tell them just how awesome they think anime is and ask them what their favorite anime is. And they like to cosplay and dress up in anime clothing, unironically, outside of conventions to try to look creative. You can be an otaku, that's fine. Weebs, you do you somewhere else. Okay. What was my favorite part of being a teacher? I loved being a teacher when I got to actually teach what I wanted to teach. I liked teaching because I liked sharing knowledge. What I didn't like was I had a lot of students who didn't care to learn, and there was no administration to keep them in line. And they knew that. So a lot of my kids acted up knowing there would be no consequences. And without any consequences, without any incentive to sit down and learn, I had a hard time teaching the class. That was what made teaching so difficult. It's not a problem. And do I think they should be a new samurai with a gun? No, I don't think there should be a new samurai with a gun. Would you ever consider checking out Mountain Blade Bannerlord now that you own a PC? Maybe. I might. Got to get the money for it. If you buy a katana and claim to be a master of the blade, you are indeed a weeb. But if you buy a katana just because you like the design, the art, you're just really chill and dedicated. Well, I was given this as a gift. When I got my katana, it was a gift. I didn't buy this one. So, and I'm definitely not a master of it. Good Lord, no. I am not a master of this blade. I like practicing with it. I like studying techniques with it. And I know a few moves with it, but I'm in no way a master of it by any means. It is beautiful, though. I love this. I love the sword. And I think a lot of people get the wrong idea about me and katanas. People were arguing with me saying, oh, the katana is this incredible weapon. And there are two kind of people out there who talk about katanas. There are the people who say that the katana is the most godly, amazing sword ever made, designed to cut through steel, could cut down a man in seconds. Just unbelievably masterful piece of technology, like the greatest sword ever made. And then there are the people who say that the katana is the worst sword ever made. It's brittle. It would break on contact with the enemy. Complete piece of trash. No. My opinion on the katana is there's somewhere in between there. The katana is a testament to the ingenuity of the Japanese blacksmith. You have very poor materials and furnaces unable to heat up to the right temperature to make the steel pure. So instead, you find a way to make a very good sword, a very functional sword out of these materials, and still make it legendary, make it amazing. Is it the best sword in the world? I wouldn't say that. I would not say that. This katana is designed to do one thing. It's designed to slash, to cut, and it does that very well. It can stab. It's just not as good at that. It can block and deflect. It's just not as good at that. Its primary goal is to slash, and it does that exceptionally well. Is it the best? No, it's not. But it's lightweight. It's pretty easy to maneuver. And it's gorgeous. I mean, there's a reason people love the katana so much. It's a gorgeous weapon. So do I hate it? Absolutely not. But do I think it's the best? No. Raven, which style of katana do you like, the reverse blade or main blade? This is a main blade. I don't own a reverse blade. I think the reverse blade is kind of silly. I know Rurouni Kenshin exists. What do I think? The basket hilted sword looks cool. I like it. Can you show us your collection? I only have 4 swords here. So once I get the rest of my swords down here, I'll show you my full collection. What weapon would you use with a shield? Spear. Is Centurion your waifu? No, Centurion's not my waifu. I love the Xi'an, even though I'm not a sword lover. The Xi'an's a beautiful sword. I did show y'all, but I'll pull it out. I like this sword. It's lighter than it looks, and it already looks pretty light. It's very maneuverable. That's why it's also called a gentleman's sword. Unlike the katana, this one's more of a stabbing-oriented weapon. This one would be much better for the thrust. But both sides are sharpened, so it can cut just fine. I think what I like about the Xi'an sword so much is just how sleek it looks. This is a very straight, very, very beautiful weapon. And yeah, everyone does call it the Mulan sword because that's what Mulan used. It was a Xi'an sword. So yeah, the Scholar's Blade. I really like these things. I really, really like this sword. Okay. Which character do you think is best individual warrior for honor based off of how they utilize their given weapon? The best individual warrior based on how they use their weapon. Based on how they use their weapon. Well, I think that it's amazing that the shinobi can come out and use those kama, which I don't even consider weapons, and do as much damage as they do. So that's pretty impressive. But I know that's not what you mean. In my opinion, I think I got to give it to the Lawbringer again. I think just the use of that poleaxe is incredible. And it's so versatile, the way you can defend, strike back, retaliate, and get in very solid hits. I just love that thing. So, yeah, I'm going to go with that one. Let's see. Man, the chat just keeps coming up so fast. I can't read it all. Oh, there we go. Have you seen some of the concept art for Honor Heroes? Some designers were lit up, and it's gone. I've seen some concept art for Honor characters. Some look good. Some I don't care for. Hello, Sland. Sland? Who's Sland? Maybe I missed something. What is your favorite nation or state in history and why? America. Samurai with a shield, like how the Pipemen and Minions do. I'm aware of its historical inaccuracy, but come on, Shinobi exists. Okay, by that logic, I'll grant you that. A samurai with a shield and spear. Sure, go for it. It's historically inaccurate, but as you said, Shinobi exists. What's your favorite polytheistic religion to learn about? Norse, Hindu, Egyptian? Norse is very fascinating. Greek was the first one I really studied, though. So one of those two. Egyptian doesn't fascinate me as much, and I'll tell you why. With Norse and Greek, well, actually, no, more with Norse, you're learning about stories. Norse is all about these stories that are told to entertain and to explain. Egyptian is just the functionality of the world. You understand the god's role and what they do. And Norse is a collection of stories, usually with messages or understanding or leading up to a point. And I find that fascinating. If it has to do with stories, I'm usually all aboard. If Centurion is not your waifu, is it Fem Shugoki? I'm going to stop asking these questions. You better. My waifu is not any of those For Honor characters. Do you think the For Honor Battle Pass should be purchasable with steel? Also, what's your opinion on the Battle Passes? Okay, a lot of people have been saying that For Honor's first sign that it's dying is the Battle Pass. I disagree with that. I think Battle Pass is just a new way for them to make money. Fortnite does it. Rainbow Six Siege does it. I think Call of Duty does it. A lot of games, multiplayer now do this because they want to make money. I don't think that's a sign the game's dying. I think this is a sign, hey, we want to make more money, and we found a way to make more money. You don't have to buy the Battle Pass, but if you do, you get more content, and we get more money. Even trade. So, do I think it should be bought with steel? It can be, as long as you're willing to shill over that steel. Me personally, I didn't think this current Battle Pass that they've been doing, this whole Horkos Festival thing, was that good. I don't really care for it. But the other ones I've seen in the past, yeah, I like them. Ever played God of War? Yes. God of War. Boy. What is your favorite kind of shield? Personally, mine is Kite Shield. Kite Shield's my favorite too. I really like the Kite Shield. Second favorite is the Viking Round Shield. It's very versatile, very useful. Watch Skullgrim's video on it. He does a much better job talking about it than I do because I don't have it. Is your waifu PK because of mine is your... Mine would be PK, except she'd probably shiv me. Probably Nobushi. I like Nobushi a lot. She's pretty. And besides, I dated a girl from Japan for a little while, so there's that. What would you think about a rapier and For Honor? I don't really know when they come out or how they would work. It's just an idea. It'd be interesting. I'd be interested to see how that worked, but I don't know. It's a rapier. There are lots of weaknesses to that in terms of a big open battle in medieval context. Can you imagine using a rapier to block Shugoki's Kanabo? Sorry if I keep asking, but Raven, imagine a D&D campaign set in Heath where the different heroes could be classes or maybe subclasses. Imagine if there was a Dragonborn Warden or a Orochi Berserker. Or Orcish Berserker. Oh, that'd be cool. I wouldn't mind an open world RPG, D&D style World of For Honor. I've seen people do For Honor RPs. They're fine with me. I think that'd be cool. PK looks like a child. Ew. Depends on the helm. Let's see. If you were to have a new faction For Honor, what would it be based on? I labored under the idea of a Byzantine or Mongolian faction. I think those would be cool. But now that Griffin's here, and he has Mongolian and Varangian armor. Don't know what to tell you. Isn't the nunchuck the nunchucks but with 3 instead of 2, right? The 3-section staff? That's Chinese, I think. The nunchucks are Okinawan. Any favorite bosses from Neo 2 from main game or DLCs? Ooh, my favorite bosses from Neo 2. Let me think on that. Neo 2 had some great bosses. Oh, man. I love fighting Nobunaga. He was fun to fight. But that's not the best boss. The last boss was kind of weak. I didn't really care for him. The hardest boss was that boar dude, whatever his name was. He was rough. God, it took me 100 tries to beat him. Gotta be that cat one. The cat one, the Kasha. The Kasha was fun. I liked the Kasha. Yuki was scary. That actually was like, good. Neo 2 and Neo had this power to take what looked like really fascinating ideas of Japanese monsters and make them terrifying. It was so cool. How about a Saracen faction? Oh, boy. I did a whole talk on different factions like that, like the Saracens or the Arabics or the Africans or the Aztecs and the Indians. And one of my biggest problems that I see with that is, and this isn't my opinion, please don't take this as my opinion, but it's true. I fear that if For Honor ever did release factions from the Arabic side of things, like the Saracens or the Seljuks or anything like that, what you'd see happen is you'd see a large number of people get upset saying, it's so racist, you're showing awful crusading knights slaughtering Saracens and Muslims, and it's so offensive. Now, a lot of you are saying, I'm Muslim and I wouldn't care, or I'm Arabic and I wouldn't care. Well, yeah, but they're not thinking about you. They're thinking about what they could get money off of, and For Honor would be afraid to go that direction. Same thing with an African faction. If you made an all African warriors faction, I think that'd be cool. I think that'd be creative. I think that'd be fun. But you'd get a large number of the population going, it's racist to show black characters being killed, even though that's part of the game, and your black character would be able to kill other characters. But yeah, that doesn't matter. What matters is what's politically relevant at the time. And besides, it's racist if you have black characters getting killed, but it's racist if you don't have them. I swear I heard that samurai did sometimes use shields, but very rarely, and they were nearly as developed as nation shields. What do you think? The shields that the samurai used were not the strap-on shields that you think of, like on the arm. The shields of the samurai were these mobile barricade shields used to block guns and arrows. So they did have shields, just not the kind that you think of. Black Shaman intensifies. An openly gay faction. Don't. To Shugoki's, I see your blackened skin color, which would make that kind of funny. That's another thing. If you add we already have the ability in For Honor to change character skin tones. If we add an all-African faction, can we make a white Nigerian? Imagine a white Zulu. Do you think For the World of For Honor could ever develop into a modern era similar to our own? No. Not if the war keeps going. It's kind of like in Warhammer 40K, you know, they don't develop anything new in Warhammer 40K because it's hard to develop any new technology besides war technology in wartime. If you're just in constant war, you don't develop. That's why they've gone for 1,000 years and barely developed. So I don't think they'll ever modernize. The backlash from that. Yeah, there would be backlash. My opinion on Star Wars? Save that for another live stream. I have thoughts on Star Wars, okay? Star Wars was my childhood. I loved Star Wars. It was one of the best franchises ever. Loved it from the prequels all the way to the trilogy, okay? And I know it's heresy to say that the prequels are good, okay? But I love them. They were childhood wonder for me. I loved the lightsaber fights. I loved Qui-Gon Jinn. I loved all of it. It was so cool. The Clone Wars is easily one of the best parts of Star Wars for me because it's so creative. The Clone Wars TV series is so awesome. I want to just rant about how good it was. And then the sequel series. You know what? I'm going to do a quick shout out. If you haven't heard of Mauler or EFAP, which is Every Frame a Pause, Mauler and EFAP do a great job talking about all the sins and problems of the new Star Wars series, the Star Wars sequel. They do great, much better than I could ever do. They analyze it to a point that even I was learning new things. I thought that I hated it when I first saw it. I learned new things to hate about it after I watched them. So if you haven't heard of Mauler or EFAP, check them out. Watch their talks on the new Star Wars series. Your mind will be open. Trust me, it's fascinating. So please go check them out if you haven't. Prequels are awesome, and I love the 3D series. I don't mind the prequel. Look, I know the prequels have problems. I'm not going to say that they don't. The prequels have problems. There's definitely bad writing in the prequels. But I think they're a guilty pleasure. There are things about them that I really like, you know? Look, the Phantom Menace had problems. I don't think it was the worst thing that ever happened. Here's my thought on the prequels. I'll say this about the prequels. When I watch the prequels, I see problems, but I also see kind of a love letter. I see George Lucas really trying to bring his vision to life, and he was doing it to support the trilogy. You know, everything you see in the prequels was meant to help support what we see in the trilogy. Did it always hit home? No, it didn't. It had problems. It had issues, and we can talk about those issues. But I think that at its core, it was trying to create a grounding, a foundation for what the trilogy was. The sequel was actively trying to take everything that the trilogy was and destroy it to build up new characters that we don't care about. Darth Vader, through the prequels, we learn how he becomes Darth Vader. Ben Kenobi, we learn how he became Ben. And then in the trilogy, we learn how Luke went from this naive little farm boy to a wise, powerful Jedi. We see how Han Solo went from an awful rogue smuggler who didn't care about anyone but himself into someone willing to risk his life for the people he cares about. We see them earn this from the first movie to the last. What do we see in the new series? A complete return to form. Han Solo is no longer that honorable man who'd do anything for anyone else. He's back to being a rogue smuggler, not even good at it anymore. We see Luke Skywalker, the most hopeful person in the galaxy, now a disgraced, begrudging hermit. We see Leia, once a confident, sass-talking woman, become an old, sad, dejected general commander of a resistance that's falling apart. It broke my heart. It actually hurt me to watch those movies. I was so heartbroken. Anyway, moving on. Episode 1 was my favorite Star Wars movie because Darth Maul was stupid. I like Darth Maul. I thought he was cool. When I first saw him, I thought, it's Satan. I thought it was Satan come onto the screen. Oh, sorry. Captain Phasma, the actress, was in GOT, and she was amazing in the Star Wars sequel. She just gets like full 2 minutes of screen time. I think when they made Captain Phasma, they wanted to make a Boba Fett too. They wanted to make a new awesome side character. The problem is Boba Fett did things. Boba Fett had presence. She doesn't do anything. You probably love Knights of the Old Republic. Great game, although it's showing its age. I've played a little bit of that. Darth Satan. For Honor special event on June 9th. Oh, is there? If you get the chance, look up medieval thriller music. It's good. Oh, the medieval thriller. Yep. I've seen that. Finn should have been a Jedi. That was what I honestly thought when I first saw it. How long do you generally think For Honor will last? That's a good question. I give it 2 more years. I give it 2 more years of waning love. I think that they're going to try to give as much life into it as they possibly can, but after 2 years, I think it will finally start to die. I think right now, people are saying it's living on fumes. I don't think it is. I think there are a lot more players of it right now than they're willing to accept. I think the big problem we have right now is, and this is something I've always believed about society in general, if it bleeds, it leads. Negative media is always going to be more relevant and prevalent than positive media. And so what we see on YouTube and other forms of media is just all the negative about For Honor. It's dying. It's no longer fun. It's unbalanced. I don't like it anymore. You should stop playing. Uninstall. That's all you hear. I'm never going to do that. You will never hear me say, uninstall, For Honor's dead, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep trying to talk about the positives and goods of this game until the day it dies. Now, if it does something bad or negative, I'll mention it and I'll say that it's bad, but I'm not going to sit here and go, uninstall, game's dead, not worth it. I'm not going to do that because I still love this game. And I think there's a lot good in it. I think people just forget that it's good. I think people forget that there's a lot to it that they're not willing to acknowledge. So that's my stance on that. What do you hope for your channel now that you've reached 5,000 subs? I'm hoping we can get to 10,000. I'm hoping that some bigger YouTube names might actually take notice of me. I'd love to have one of y'all, Hervis Daubeny, you actually reached out to the Metatron and told him about me. And I was like, oh boy, I did not expect that. Metatron is someone that I really think is an excellent, excellent historian and cultural spokesman. I have every reason to think that he would just totally ignore me if you hadn't mentioned my name to him. But I'm hoping that one day maybe I could brush shoulders with Shadversity, Metatron, or Skullgrim. I'd love to collab or talk with them, something like that. I'd like that, but I don't think that'll ever happen. I hope it does. Slanderous was here like 10 minutes ago. I'm going to sound awful for this, but I don't know who Slanderous is. Sorry. Your video on Black Powers inspiration has got me into a game again, and even though I'm bad, I still love it. That's awesome. No, I'm glad to hear that. Balance is poison. I'm a wolf. For Honor is the best and the worst game. That's actually an honest way of looking at it. Russian Badger and Raven Knight. It's only no. Oh, Russian Badger would never pay any attention to me. Russian Badger would never care about me. I'm nowhere on his level, and I know I'm not on his level. Oh God, did you see his new video on Battlefront 2? It was the funniest thing I've seen in a long time. Oh, Russian Badger. If you do watch this, I know you won't, but if you do watch this, know that I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan of your work. What if the Black Friars are the Black Friars? Slanderous is an FH meme tuber. Oh, I'm going to look him up. I'm going to look him up now. Slanderous, I'm sorry for not knowing who you were. I'm so sorry. I'm going to look that up now. Thoughts on gaining 2K subs in less than a week? I'm scared. That's terrifying. I have no idea how to feel about that. That's like, what the hell? If the next heroes are Vikings, what weapons do you think they'll have? I'd really like axe and shield hero, a sea axe hero, or maybe maybe something to surprise me. I don't know. And watch as this moment changes history. I hope they will win. What's your opinion on the support for Battlefront 2 getting cut so they can pool their research into Battlefield 6? That's what happened. They cut support for Battlefront 2 so that they could go into Battlefield 6. That was dumb. With Russian Badger endorsing the game, I would have started putting funds in Battlefield 2 to try to fix it, What about our meme lord? Vita Neon is hilarious. But again, I don't think he's a person who would ever notice me. Vita Neon is great. Vita Neon, Hyper Souls, they're awesome. Marco Yolo is also amazing. I love his work. Those guys are hilarious. They're fantastic. Go Danny is fantastic. These are all people that I really do think are great For Honor YouTubers. They're just so much higher than me. And I know that I'm probably not going to make it that far. You've done playable character theme songs, but I'm curious, what would story character themes be? Oh, that's a good thought. I need to think on that. I dislike the Woolen faction. I don't know why. I just don't like them. It's your opinion, man. We need a knight with a shield and a hammer. Yeah, me and my brother were actually talking about that. We need an actual hammer or something. Zany sweating in the... Oh, Zany. God, how could I forget Zany? I just haven't watched him in a while. That's all. Are you interested in Roman history? Yes, but my brother knows a lot more about it than I do. You know a lot about Roman history, bro. Would you ask Russian Badger to be in the video? If he ever acknowledged my existence and wanted to try doing something with me, yes. What are my thoughts on Dracula? Boy, I've already done a whole video on Dracula. Remember to keep track of the time. Yeah, I know. I've got about, at most, I've got 20 minutes left. What do you think happened to Lord Warden? Search me. I don't even know. Which For Honor YouTuber would you want to play with on For Honor? I'd love to join. Vita Neon, Hyper Souls, and Marco Yolo constantly game together. I'd love to join one of their games. I'd love to do that. That'd be so much fun. But they all play on PC, and I haven't even gotten For Honor for PC yet. So, Badger playing For Honor, that's a funny thought. I don't think he ever will. For Honor doesn't seem like his kind of game. How do you feel about Jormungandr? I like her, or him, whichever. But they have their issues. I'll go into that another time. Which hero is least used? You know what? I think I've seen a pretty even amount of all of them lately. I think that's honestly a good sign that I can't really think of a hero that has been used so few times that I've noticed it. Like, I've seen plenty of every character. What power in fiction do you think is OP and or broken? Time. Time manipulation is broken. Raven, I'm just happy For Honor's come this far despite the naysayers and complainers. It really stood out to me the most of the medieval game. It has flaws, but it still stands out like a sore thumb. I can agree with that. What do you think about the Book of Boba Fett leaks? I don't know anything about it. I loved playing with you I love to play with you on For Honor, by the way. Labaj, yeah, I remember you. Yeah, that was fun. That was fun. That was a lot of fun. When will merch come out? I've already got merch out, and I can put the link to the Teespring store in the description. Carmen Maria Machado Carmilla edit writer video. Oh, I'm going to read that book. I'm going to read that book, and I'm going to hate it. I'm going to hate it so much. Hey, Raven, how do you feel about Daubeny? He's a mean. How many reds do I have? 561 last time I checked. What faction do I think would win realistically? I said that already. These are the reactions I live for. Later, Vincey Wincy Spider. Thank you for joining in. Do you think Vlad would be good in For Honor? He had guns, early guns. Well, do you like a character with Warhammer, a legit Warhammer with a Warpock on the back? Yes, absolutely. If there were to be a side hero, which faction do you think they would be in? Knights, probably, but I'll go with Samurai just for the sake of something different. Did you know that apparently in For Honor, when it was in development for each faction, you could have swapped weapons and armors and it was more of a build your hero rather than a hero-based game? I'd heard that, and I think that's a creative idea. I kind of wish they'd gone that way. That would have been a creative thing. Thoughts on Nobunaga Oda? I think that he is a divisive character. He is the man who, at the same time, unified Japan, or at least began that unification process, and also the man who labeled himself a demon king. You know, he's the dude who did very controversial things to get to where he is, but also, can you argue with the results? I think he's fascinating. I actually wrote a short story about an isekai kind of setup where you have this person from the modern age who studied Japanese history go into the past and come into the court of Oda Nobunaga. It's called Tea with a King. I'll read it audibly sometime on a YouTube video, do like an audiobook read of it. I think you might like it, or you might not. Whatever. Do you think For Honor is still alive? Yeah, I do. The origins of For Honor is kind of sad. The original developer who came up with the idea basically got forced out of the company because he refused to compromise on his vision for what the game is now. That is sad. Doom 505. Raven. What's up, Doom? Do you play or have an interest in D&D? I have an interest in it. I've never played it. Who's your main in For Honor? I already answered that. Congrats. Oh, thanks, Aaron. Appreciate that. What's your main grievance with Bleach specifically? My main problem with Bleach, I could talk about all the problems I have with it, but I'll label it down to just one thing. Try this. Those of you at home who like Bleach or anime in general, try this. Here's a challenge for you. Ready? What is Naruto's end goal? What's the one thing he wants to do? Become Hokage. We know his goal. Luffy from One Piece. What is his goal? Name it. He wants to become King of the Pirates. Yeah, pretty simple. Has a goal. What is Goku's main goal? Be the world's best fighter. Yeah, be the greatest fighter in all the universe. Each time he learns about a new level to go, he wants to reach it. He wants to max out. Okay, what is Ichigo's main goal? He doesn't really have one. Ichigo doesn't really have a main goal. He's a very reactionary hero. Something bad happens, he responds to it. He goes in to stop the problem and save his friends. That's fine. But after a while, if he doesn't have a direction he's going, why do I care about his direction at all? Yeah, I don't really care about a character who has no direction. After a while, I'm kind of going to go, you know what? When you run out of people to fight against or things to do, I'm not going to care anymore. It's just going to become a repetitive thing. My friend's in danger, I'll go save them. My friend's in danger, I'll go save them. My friend's in danger, I'll go save them. With Luffy, if his friends aren't in danger, I know what direction he's going. With Naruto, if his friends aren't in danger, I know what direction he's going. With Ichigo, what does he want to do? That's one problem. Southeast Asian factor in For Honor, your opinion. It'd be cool, but I'd be hesitant to think of what kind of weapons they could bring in that would be unique. What would an anime character look like in real life? Horrifying. Isn't like 80% of Bleach filler or something? It feels like it. Would I be interested in a male warmonger or a male peacekeeper? Male warmonger, yes. No male peacekeeper. I like them female. I don't know how invested you are in DC, but what's your opinion on Robert Pattinson playing the new Batman? Oh, you mean the dude who played Edward Cullen? I don't know. He's a good actor. I think Robert is a good actor. And I think that the fact that he played Edward Cullen has given a lot of people a bad opinion of him as an actor. I think he's a great actor. I give him props. He was given a crap role and gave it his best. So I'm interested to see what he does with it. I think the devs should replace tribute to a free-for-all mode. I agree with that. A Roman faction For Honor. Thoughts? Well, they'll need to replace Centurion and Gladiator with something. Thoughts on Bleach X For Honor story? Oh, no. Ravenlore, the animated series Kickstarter, when? I will do some talks on the Ravenlore. Do you watch Ruby? No. I don't like that either. Didn't Robert Pattinson deliberately try to make Edward Cullen seem like a creep and a loser? I don't know if he did, but if he did, he succeeded. I only want a male woman because I want to see how fucking monstrous he would look and sound. That'd be kind of neat, right? I'd like that. Now that I'm vaccinated, I'm going girlfriend hunting, but I can't find a net big enough. You shouldn't have said that on an open stream. Do you think they should restart the storyline in For Honor? Yes. What's your favorite For Honor bird? Oh, like the bird effects. Probably the phoenix. Either that or the raven, the Valraven. Hunt smaller one. What is your favorite Sabaton song? Sharp, you already answered that. It's The Last Stand by Sabaton. That's my favorite. For Honor, the remake. Someone asked me earlier, I don't know who it was, but you asked me why I dislike Naruto. I should do a whole video on why I dislike Naruto. It would get me killed. There would be plenty of people out there ready to string my neck. But yeah, I don't like Naruto much because I think that Naruto should have ended after the Pain arc. I think that it went on way too long. And I think that it just turned into wizards with contact lenses. Every time I look at later Naruto episodes and I go, this is a show about ninjas. Right. Sure. And One Piece is a show about pirates. Which hero do you hate the most, Griffin? Naruto is better than Boruto. Yeah, that's true. Naruto is better than Boruto. Do you have a tattoo? I have Jesus tattooed on my heart. That's my soul tattoo. God, that was cringe. I'm ashamed of myself for that. No, I must drink in penance. That was the worst thing I could have possibly said. God. Anyway, if you didn't do For Honor content on your channel, what would you do? Wow. I don't know. It'd be hard to do the other things that I like because I tried talking about writing advice and no one really cared about that. I tried talking about socio-political stuff and no one really cared about that. For Honor's what got me popular. So I don't know what I'd be doing. The problem with For Honor story mode is that it's mechanically outdated, short, often not the fun at times, and it feels like there are pieces missing. I'll give you that. They haven't updated it at all. Can you imagine passive effect while they have to automatically on without needed to activate it? That'd be cool. I like your writing advice. Well, thank you. But my writing advice only got popular after I started my For Honor stuff. Do you think the addition of Draconite hurt For Honor's lore? No. I think Draconite opened up new ideas for Honor's lore. They just haven't approached them. What geopolitical issues did you discuss? I did a couple of responses to people like Adam Ruins Everything, talking about the stupidity of some social, political ideologues, and they weren't big things. Is there a doubled shielded warrior? Not that I know of. If it makes you feel any better, Raven's Writing Room is my favorite series. Thank you, Pig. I appreciate that. Writing, I'm trying to become a writer. Did you do a video on advice? Yeah, I have a series called The Raven's Writing Room. You can see some of my advice there. I'll actually be releasing a new one pretty soon. Writing advice for Honor. I'd love to sit down with the creator, with the lore writer for Honor and actually talk with her. Not to insult her. I don't want to insult her. I just want to flesh out some ideas. If you could permanently bring back one event game mode, which would it be? For me personally, it'd be the Test Your Metal. I like Test Your Metal. I'd also bring back the Jormungandr Breach mode. That was fun. I think a Fencer class would be cool considering Warmonger has some French armor. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Nurses or nuns? In what regard? Nuns could be nurses. Some nuns were trained in basic medical practices. But why? Like, oh, are you saying which one do I think is hotter? Since men can be nurses, I'm going to go with nuns on that one. Thank you, by the way. Congratulations on the amount of subs. Thank you, Union. Appreciate that. I think I should talk with the... Get out of here, internet officer. Thanks for your writing room. Thanks for your writing room videos. I actually learned and fixed a lot of stuff. I had issues with the story. Thank you, man. Appreciate that, Sim. He is too pure. Thank you. Did you buy For Honor at launch? Yes, I did, Pig. I sure did. What is the most overrated power in fiction? What is the most underrated power in fiction? The most overrated power in fiction is time control. The most underrated power in fiction is shape-shifting into animals. That's what it is. Do you think the Draconite can resurrect Apollyon? Well, that's one of my problems with Draconite. Like I said, it has potential, but the problem is they haven't explored it in the right ways. In order for Draconite to really work for me, we need to set the standards of what it's capable of. Right now, they're just sort of saying it can heal people, but it can also hurt people. I need specifics. What does Draconite do? If you can explain that to me, we'll talk. My brother actually had an interesting theory that it's just Warpstone from Warhammer, which leads more credence into my story For Honor and Glory. Raven showed me a lot of things about myself, and I thank him. History is beautiful. Thank you, Dry. Wait, here's something someone asked about For Honor. Is if the Shaolin were supposed to be from a pacifist style of religion, why are they allowed to kill now? And I don't actually know. Do you? Okay, so here's the thing about the Shaolin. Buddhism teaches that you should never take another life. Okay? The Shaolin were passive. They did not, in history, they did not want to kill people. But self-defense is not the same as murder. And if pushed, they were allowed to use lethal force if necessary. They usually wanted to avoid that, though. That's why their iconic weapon is the waxwood staff, a weapon that would bludgeon or injure, not kill. They had killing tools, but they wanted to avoid it if they could. Under certain circumstances and under certain conditions, they could kill. But as long as it was in self-defense or for the protection of someone else or for the protection of their monastery, it was okay. But their faith taught them to never be the aggressor, to never start a fight, to never pick a fight. If you could change one major fact For Honor, what would it be from Peyton? What would if I could change one major thing about For Honor? Well, I've already introduced some ideas for new game modes, but other than those new game modes, I would say, take away some of this edginess. I think there's way too much edginess right now. Make the story make it more about the story and more about the creativity and history. Expand on the world rather than just tighten it with this Draconite stuff. How about a new hero, but without any mail, your weapons, it's a bow and arrow. So a bow and arrow hero. I think that's going to be a problem. If you have a long-range fighter who has no in-range protection, it's going to be a problem. I'm going to leave now, so stay safe during Corona, and may the fire, I mean the Lord, be with you always. Later, Jaden. How does a beast summoner hero sound? A little too fantasy. Why is Magnus clearly the best Primarch? He's not. I don't know where you got that heresy. Naja Aldmera is the best Primarch. And if you don't know who that is, well, you're not on my Discord. What warrior for honor has the best weapon? I answered that. We need new maps. Yeah, we do. What other types of warrior would you like to see? Someone with this? 3 section staff here. Favorite 40k loyalist and Chaos Primarch. Favorite Chaos Primarch would be that's tough. I'm gonna say Mortarion, and my favorite loyalist, Corvus Corax, probably. Is there anything new to For Honor? Haven't played it for a minute. There's some new things, but I don't know how long away you've been away. Who is the most scary looking character in One Piece? Big Mom. Big Mom's the scariest. Ubi needs to use maps from the campaign and the multiplayer. I can agree with that. Alfarius is the only one that understands something about war. Would you like a 20 versus 20 game mode? The gank would be terrifying. What would be the best 40k game? I like Space Marine. Who wins in a fist fight, Angron or Mortarion? I don't know. What is the best sword in your opinion? Longsword. Don't even have to think about that one. The longsword is probably the best in my opinion. Let's see. Okay, I need to head out. Have a good rest of your stream, Raven. Actually, I'm probably going to head out in about the next 5 or so minutes. So if you've got any last-minute questions, I'll try to answer them. Yep, I'm keeping on the time. I got about 5 minutes left. So if y'all have any last-minute questions you want to ask, now's the time. I meant more so what would be your ideal 40k game? I love an open-world RPG 40k game. What martial arts do you train in? I train in Muay Thai, Judo, Jiu-Jitsu, Karate, Taekwondo, Capoeira, and Kung Fu. And as for weapons, I train in the weapons I have here. What do I think of the TV show Vikings? It's okay. Do you think a pirate-esque hero could work? Probably not. When is the next live? The next one is scheduled for Friday. So I'll probably do one Friday. Hug. Okay, you can have a hug, Burrito Chip. You can have a hug. Not Arch Squire 23. Hey, Raven, what's up? What care do you have the most reps with in For Honor? It's a tie between Blackprior, Warden, and Nobushi, all with 23. Might not have asked you. Yeah, don't do it. Kira, see you later. Thank you so much for coming in. Don't forget to link the Discord link. I will not. The Discord link will be in the description. So check out the description. How you been? I've been all right, Notch Arch Squire. I've been all right. Dark Angels equals loyal traders. I say loyal. Do I think an assassin from Assassin's Creed would be in it For Honor? Peacekeeper. What is the best part of being a YouTuber? There is none. I enjoy doing it because it allows me to do what I love. I love talking history. I love sharing facts. I love discussing things with you guys. But if anything, being a YouTuber can be very exhausting. Sometimes I feel like I owe a lot to my fans and followers more than I do myself. And so I keep myself from doing things I enjoy for you guys, which isn't a bad thing. I like you guys. I like doing stuff for you. But there are times where I finish working on a video and I just go, man, I've run out of a lot of time to do what I want. So take that for what it's worth. Night, Clovis. Later, Dry. Thoughts on Honda Tadakatsu? I probably just need to do a video on my favorite daimyo. Do you think they should extend the Blade of Warlord's Ulfbert to be more accurate? Sure, I think they could. Being a YouTuber is being a teacher with less bratty teens and less money, but more fun. That sums up why I did this. That sums up why I started this. See you, Union. What is the worst thing you could do for a character in terms of writing? Okay, this will be the last question I answer. John Smith will be the last question. Okay. What is the worst thing you can do to a character in terms of writing? I said in one of my videos, my Ravens Writing Room, that a character needs to have a goal, they need to be well-rounded, and they need to have a direction. The worst thing you can do with your character is just throw them into a role and not give them any context, not give them any goal. They're just there to exist and further an agenda or further a message. If your characters exist to produce a message, you've created a character wrong. You have created a mouthpiece, not a character. A character has to be more well-rounded than that. For a good example, let's look at a character like Luke Skywalker. Luke Skywalker could have come into the scene just like Rey, this perfect, morally, objectively righteous individual who does everything right, makes all the right decisions, and is this ideologue for why Nazism is bad and all that. He isn't. He's naive, he's selfish, he's whiny from the very get-go. He has to mature and learn and grow, and all that comes from having goals, having ambitions, and having interests and desires. With Rey, though, there is no ambition or desire. The only thing she wants is to meet her parents again, and then after that, her desires and needs change for the plot, and her entire character is just a mouthpiece or a self-insert character, very much like a self-insert harem anime character. You know, you just become them to live the fantasy. That's the worst thing you can do for a character. Is an ideal and a goal the same? They can be. They can be. An ideal would be like what Apollyon believes. Apollyon believes that war is the natural state of the species. The goal is what she intends to do to fulfill that ideal. Apollyon believes war is the natural state of our species, but her goal is to create that natural state, to create the war that is necessary for her ideal. They can be the same thing, though. So that's a good question, John. So that would be the worst thing you could possibly do with your character, is to create a character of that caliber. It's hurtful to the character. It's hurtful to creating. So that would be what I think. I hope that answered your question. In my next Ravens Writing Room, I'm actually going to talk about support characters, love interest, stuff like that. And I'm going to talk more about how to write a character. Should be written. Play a C Valhalla. Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I already did that. I'm not doing that again. Okay. I think that's a good place to stop it, guys, because I gotta get going. All right. So real quick before I go, guys, y'all are amazing. Y'all are just so amazing. 5,000 subscribers. I never thought that I'd get here. This is phenomenal, and it's all thanks to you guys. I do have a Discord now. If y'all haven't joined it, I highly recommend you join it. I'll put it in the description. I also have a Teespring store where you can buy merchandise with my chibi on it, with my Raven logo on it, with my Raven character on it. It'll all be in the description. I'll add that later. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Thank you so much for all that you've done. You have made this possible. You've allowed me to live a dream that I never thought that I would before. Whether or not you like me or hate me for what I do, I just really can't help but thank you all for this opportunity. So good night, guys, and I will see you in my next video, whenever that is. Talk to you later. Raven Knight, signing out.